Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel and another card making video. Today I am sharing 5 ways to use a cover plate die. These are universal ways to use cover plate or backdrop dies, but I'm going to be using one die in particular, the Silly Slimline Slants die from Heffy Doodle. I just think this is a really fun die and it's very versatile. But like I said, you can use the techniques I'm sharing with you today with cover plate dies that you already own of any size. Here you can see the Silly Slimline Slants die cut out. So first I thought I would just show you a card using this die as it is. So I just die cut it from pink and I'm gluing it down to my slimline card, which is 8.5 by 3.5. And then I'll show you a finished card with some stamped images and sentiments. And this die in particular is fun because you can stamp your sentiments in those open spaces of those slants. So I thought that was a really fun way to use this die in particular. But now let's move on to technique number 1, which is to layer it. So you can die cut your backdrop panel and then layer on top of it. Now this die is just a hair bigger than 8.5 by 3.5, so I taped my paper inside of it. I thought you should have that little tip about this die in particular. And to give this die a stitched edge, I used this Slimline Stitched Trio die set to die cut out my slanted panel to give it a stitched edge, and I think it looks so cool adding that extra element to it. I also used the smallest die from this set to create the panel that will be layered on top of my backdrop. So you can see by layering it, you're showing just a portion of the background. I have made a Christmas card with this one because I love this popping by stamp set with the present that can be used for birthday or Christmas, and then it can say popping by to say Merry Christmas. Okay, technique number 2 is to inlay, which means you're going to take the fallout pieces from your die cut and glue them in place. Now you could do this with the same color, you could do it with a different color like I'm doing here, just by die cutting it 2 different times, saving the outline piece of one color and the fallout pieces from another color. You could go totally cool and do different colors of inlaid pieces. You could do some glitter paper, some pattern paper. So inlay technique is really fun. And you have this now smooth front panel, but it has those lines in it, so it has this texture and interest in it. So there is my finished inlaid card. I added some stamped images from the Bedheads stamp set and made a get well soon card. Those are kind of cards we need nowadays, and I think it really helps to cheer people up. Okay, way number 3 is to cut it twice and rotate one and layer them up. So you can see I have die cut one from orange and one from yellow. I flipped the yellow one over to the back side and put the orange one on top of it. So I have a completely different look just by flipping one of them over. And this is going to give me kind of a plaid look, but think about doing this even with a vine-like backdrop die. You rotate one, die cut it from a lighter color, and then you've got this really leafy, viney, full backdrop. So really the sky's the limit when doing this technique with other backdrop dies. I've also made a get well card here, switching the orientation of the card so it's vertical, put my cute little bed head down at the bottom, and I now have 2 get well cards and I love that background so much. Okay, way number 4 is to use it as a stencil. So you die cut this out, put some temporary adhesive on it, and then I stuck it down to an 8.5 by 3.5 inch panel. I'm also sticking it to my shirt there a little bit so that temporary adhesive is not so sticky. And then I am bringing in some Distress Oxide, one of my favorite inks to stencil with, in Worn Lipstick. I'm going to stencil this entire panel with this one color, but really as I was doing this I was like, that's not as fun. Like, if you're gonna stencil, you should do some cool technique that you can do with stenciling that I couldn't do maybe with die cutting. So I brought in some other colors, but really don't limit yourself just to ink. You could do some spreads. I call them spreads because there's gels, there's pastes, there's so many different things you can spread on. I call them spreadables. So I'm just doing ink today, but don't forget that you can use some of those things as well. So I brought in some spiced marmalade and festive berries to make a really nice blend on this one, and I love how it goes from dark to light to orange. You could also rotate or flip over that stencil and do the other side to give you that kind of plaid look with this one as well. But there's my finished card. I put a frame around the edge using those same slimline stitched dies and added some cute little mice, kept it pretty simple, and I love it. All right. Card number 5 is to make a shaker. These full panel dies are great shakers. I saved this panel from my stenciled piece and I just used it as the front panel for my shaker. I stuck my window sheet to the back of it, lined the edges with my foam tape, filled it with my shaker elements, which are this sequin mix I had in my stash. It was probably a free gift with the order. I have no idea where I got it, but it's perfect for this card. I added some seed beads from one of my friend's shops, Crescent Creation. I'll link her shop for you below. And then I'm going to remove the backing from the foam tape and add a second window sheet. This is a tip from my friend Cassie. I love it. I do it all the time now. It just makes it easier now to stick this down to my card. And here is that card. I added some clouds at the bottom for my little bears and added a vertical banner to finish off this shaker card. And I love shaker cards, and using a backdrop die adds a lot of interest versus just a frame. So really use all of your cover plate dies to make shakers. I think you will love it. So I wanted to show you this other shaker card I made with the same die set. I put glitter in it, but also the background here is an ink blended panel. I love putting ink blended panels behind my cover plate dies. So there's a little bonus idea for you with your dies, but I'm going to show you all 6 of these cards because remember I had the one that used the die as is, and then I had all the techniques and the one little Christmas card I had to sneak in there. But I like making sets of cards that all kind of match, they coordinate. So that was really fun to do too. And I could give those as a gift, those 5 right there. So I'm going to show you one more close-up look at each of these cards. And I would love to know which of these techniques is maybe new to you, or which one do you want to try? Let me know in the comments below. And if you're new to my channel, feel free to subscribe. I have new videos all the time, and I would love to have you along with me. All the supplies I've used are also linked for you in the description box below. I thank you so much for shopping my affiliate links. I know it's at no cost to you, but it makes a difference to me, and I so appreciate that. Happy stamping, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye!